And now we're recording.
Your face.
Yeah, I tell you what, folks, I'm still learning the process of this podcast. We had to start over because I forgot to push record on audio. All right. Cheers. Let's try it again.
Yes. Happy Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Sunday fun day. Mm-hmm. I am here making sure this is recording there and on there with my good friend Scuba Tanya. We are not talking about real estate today. We are talking about scuba diving.
That's right.
So let's try this again, Tanya.
Okay.
We met 13 years ago in Key Largo.
Yes.
We heard about each other, but just hadn't met up yet.
Yes.
And became instant friends. When I was in Key Largo with you, I was not in a good spot. I was getting ready to go through a divorce.
Yikes!
Not the best time for me. And we're not going to go into detail about that trip because...
Can I tell a funny story?
Absolutely, please do.
So the very first time that I talked to you, you sat down and we were at the table and I was like, gosh, this girl is like bottled lightning, like super personality, and I was intimidated. I was I'm like, wow, there's a lot going on there.
That's accurate.
Yes, so I was a little intimidated, and I was like, oh, it's nice to meet you. And there was another person there, and you just like straight out of the gate was like, yeah, we're getting divorced when we go home. So there's that. And I was like, and then it took me a second to realize, like, holy bananas, this girl is she's being totally serious. And I was like, man. And then, but then I admired you because you were just so like off the cuff, like, yep, that's what's up. Take it or leave it. I don't care. And I was like, man, she's like a spirit animal for like, the more conservative and retained people. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I had a good time. Don't get me wrong. I had fun diving, and it was probably my third or fourth ocean dive. Mm-hmm. And the waters were pretty rough.
It was rough, yeah. Key Largo in the spring is, it's not for the faint of heart.
No, it's not.
Which we're not. We are not those girls.
No.
Yeah, so.
Amen to that. Tanya has her instructor's license, and I do not. I have my dive master's, and I assist. Mm-hmm. And we were kind of touching base, reminiscing a little bit. I don't know if I've ever really assisted with you. But maybe in Cozumel, we were kind of talking about that a little bit.
Yeah, I think in Cozumel, we were there for vacation, but there were a variety of skill set or experience level, I should say, on that trip. So I think when you are a dive con, assistant instructor, I think you tend, at least on the first couple of dives, you tend to stay in the back. Right. To just make sure that everyone is going in the same direction, that people want to stop and look at stuff and you don't want them to get left behind, or if they're having any issues you can kind of see everybody from the back. So
we kind of herding kittens a little bit.
Yeah, we were herding kittens, and we were an excellent caboose team.
I thought so. Yeah. I thought so.
Yeah.
I did like go through the swim throughs some of the times. I'm a little claustrophobic, and yes, folks, I know you're claustrophobic and you scuba dive. It's a little different for me.
Yeah.
But I can remember swimming over the swim throughs and then counting everybody, and then, all right, who's stuck in the swim through?
Yeah, you were the over and I was the under.
Yep. So but it worked out. That was during COVID too. That was a fun trip. we didn't do a whole lot of diving because the El Nino or Nina or whatever was coming through. Right.
Well, and there may have been an afternoon where we decided that we were going to make a fake news show.
Oh yeah.
On the resort. There may have been fins and mass while there was huge surges from the ocean coming over into the tide pool, and I may or may not have managed to get a jellyfish sting on both legs.
Who else did too? It was you and was it Shannon?
It might have been Margie.
Okay, maybe it was.
She was on that trip.
Yeah.
I still have the scars to prove it. So I like to tell people it was like a much more, exotic adventure. But I was like, no, I got stung in a tide pool that was on the resort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah. Beer was involved. And that's all we need to say.
Maybe tequila. I don't know. I can't recall. But we were having fun due to the fact that we couldn't go diving.
Yeah.
And there was very little opened up on the island in Cozumel. We did, we nixed doing the mopeds. Probably, there might have been maybe a slight hangover for me, and my balance was not totally there on that day.
Totally
so
for me.
we rented the Jeep.
Do you remember when we went over that big bump?
Oh, God.
And then all of the water, we had the top off?
I remember.
Because one should have their top off in Mexico. But we hit that bump, and all of the storm water came over the hood of the Jeep into the car, soaking us. We were so cute.
I know, but
let's just acknowledge they were so cute.
It was one of those things that I was worried about. Oh dear God, are we going to get hepatitis C or something? I'm like,
I remember just kind of laughing, thinking like, "Oh, that tracks."
Yeah, it was not not a good spot. It was in downtown Cozumel, and we were taking back roads, following the mopeds, and yikes. Yeah. Well, that's not scuba diving, but that was on a scuba trip.
It's part of it.
Yes, absolutely. You also volunteer for the aquarium here in Northern Kentucky.
Yeah, I did. I volunteered for 5 years at the aquarium. I guarded Scuba Santa to make sure that the playfulness of the sharks didn't, cause any issues while Santa was visiting with his little visitors.
So how did you go about becoming a volunteer at the aquarium?
Sure. So at the aquarium, first of all, you need to be an advanced level diver. So whether that's PADI, SSI, SDI, you should be advanced level. You should be all the way through your stress and rescue. So you'll go, you do an interview just like you would do a job interview, because obviously we want personalities that are, amenable with each other. And then, so after you do an in-person interview, then you will go there's a specific shop that the aquarium works with exclusively. So they will have you out there. You're going to take a written test, which is essentially your open water test again, regardless of what skill level you are.
Right.
And then you will do a pool interview, essentially. So, and while you do this, they want to see your buoyancy, and you might think, well, gosh, if I'm advanced or I'm stress and rescue, I've got awesome buoyancy. You would be surprised how many people kind of struggle, especially it's a little stressful. Kind of being put on the spot.
It is. I've done this, and I've done all that. I did it.
Yeah, they're going to ask you to swim through like some obstacles, and it's different than regular diving, but it has to be because the exhibits at the aquarium are tight spaces, and parts of it are artificial, and if your buoyancy is not completely top notch, and sometimes claustrophobia could be an issue in some of those exhibits. So, they want to make sure that you're going to be, one, comfortable and safe, but two, not cause any damage to those exhibits. They're pretty expensive. So you go through like a obstacle course, and then based on how you do on your test, how you do on the pool evaluation, and then also how you did in that initial interview, and more importantly, what your availability is. Because a lot of us work, 8 to 5 jobs. But the aquarium is open 364 days a year. So they want to ensure that they have people that can come in on a Monday or a Tuesday, not just the weekends. So
that was part of my issue of why I couldn't complete my volunteering there at the aquarium is, even though I have flexibility in my schedule, I just got super busy, and then I wasn't able to continue my obligations with them.
Oh, yeah.
But I always heard about the turtle.
Yes, Denver the turtle.
Denver the turtle. I love it.
Got a personality all of his own. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
You're actually not allowed to wear anything pink in the shark tank, because apparently that is the love language of the turtle.
Really?
Yeah.
Turtles can see color?
Apparently either color or tone or what have you, but you cannot wear a wetsuit that has pink on it. There will be no pink fins. There will be no pink mask. They even have a mannequin that is next to the shark tank. So if you do the that over the bridge experience, you can actually see into the diver's area from that bridge. And there is a mannequin that is wearing a pink outfit, and they have it there as a reminder that is Denver's favorite color.
Oh.
So, yeah, when I first started working there was another volunteer, I think she's still there, who had gotten a love bite on her booty.
Oh.
From Denver.
Wow.
And
take me to dinner first there, Denver. Before
getting a beak bump from a turtle apparently leaves a considerable bruise.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so...
Well, it's a good thing she had a wetsuit on then, I guess.
Yeah, those turtles go for it. I'm just saying. Yeah,
They're
I can't
so
imagine.
Cute.
I know. You would think so. You would think so.
Well, I guess he's a little territorial. I guess he claims the aquarium as his own. Like, you come into my space there, chick. Guess what?
I've had a shark ray nibble one of my fins before, too, and that was... It was surprising and a little scary because those shark rays are big.
Yeah, they are.
You don't realize how strong they are until they get a fin.
Absolutely.
Like the edge of it. So
take a drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember my significant other and myself, my man. We were in Belize, and we were doing a lionfish hunt, and so see who could catch the most lionfish, blah, blah, blah. Well, there was a moray eel that was swimming around, and if you don't know what a moray eel is, well, it's those long green things.
The big green
ones.
Yeah,
the big green ones. He kind of liked my GoPro hanging off of my BC, so he decided to come investigate. And, buddy, it was a little nerving. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. And luckily, our guide saw what was happening and took his shoot, one of it.
Like the pointer?
Yeah. And kind of shoot him away.
Get out of there, sir.
Oh, we were diving with a really great group from Canada, and I was their entertainment for that night, where they were poking jokes and fun at me because I got chased by a moray eel.
If anybody else told me they got chased by an eel, I probably wouldn't believe them. But when you tell me, I'm like, that tracks.
Yeah, and it was.
Of course you did.
Yeah, I did, and you know what? And I still continue to dive. So, it's one of those things that you just respect the water because, for one, you're entering their home.
Oh yeah,
and not the other way around.
Exactly.
A lot of people are like, I don't think I could be below the ocean. I'd rather be on top. I'm like, why?
Enjoy your 30%.
Yeah. Underneath is where you see everything, folks. Yeah. That's when you know when something's coming after you, not when you're on top of the water.
Yeah, and enjoy that 30% of the earth that is not covered in water.
Yeah. But anyway, so what would be your favorite dive site? Where do you really like going to dive?
That trip that we took to Socorro was a once-in-a-lifetime kind of trip.
Absolutely.
I think the whole time, both of us bitched about how choppy the water was. Because in the Pacific, that's how they roll, but oh my God.
Stuff we saw, though. It was amazing.
It was the stuff that we saw and just I think there's something there to be like, not everybody gets to go here.
Correct.
And just our interactions with and getting to see what we saw, it's kind of that risk versus reward kind of thing. Like, you can go to Key Largo and you can see all the tropical fish and you can do 40-foot dives. And if that is your comfort level and that's where you get your enjoyment, freaking do it.
Right.
This was not seeing those typical tropical fish. I had never seen a manta ray in person, and that was incredible.
Yeah, unbelievable.
And I remember I tell people this all the time, like, if you have any question in your faith whatsoever, you be in the water with a humpback whale and hear it singing to its calf. And your dive equipment is vibrating because the song is so strong. And I couldn't even see that whale in the water, but I was close enough to feel that vibration. And there's just part of you where you realize you are smaller than the tiniest grain of sand.
Absolutely.
On this world. And
you can cry underwater because I did it.
Totally can. And so I don't necessarily think of dive trips in terms of the place, like where's my favorite place, but I think of it in like underwater epiphanies, where no matter what you're going through at that time in your life or whatever, but things that trigger the really soft parts of you that you don't normally connect with or have time to connect with. until you're underwater, and there are no ringing phones and there are no emails.
Yes, and there was nothing. I mean, nothing worked out there. I mean, I had a satellite phone for reasons, but no cell service, no TV, no nothing, and just totally shut off everything for a week, and it was wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, the accommodations on that trip were the food was
we were roommates. God love you.
And so there were all kinds of parts of that trip where I'm like, oh, I would never.
That's for you. For putting up with me, for sure.
And same to you. Yeah.
I mean, and it's everybody that went on that trip. I mean, we've gone diving with them numerous amount of times, and I'm trying to think if there was anybody that I had not been diving with on that trip. And you really do need to be an experienced diver.
Yes.
On that where we were diving at.
Yeah,
I mean,
if you're going to be in the Pacific.
Oh, it was heavy. That was an experience. It was not a vacation. It was an adventure.
Yeah, that was my first time diving in vertical surge. I had always done horizontal surge, but being at 60 feet and experiencing surge that takes you up to 45 feet
quickly.
That's and if you don't have that buoyancy mastered and have a comfort level with your gear, which shameless plug, you should always have your own gear.
No, I totally agree. We'll touch on that.
Something like that can cause some some anxiety. So not for a brand new diver, but it was incredible.
It was, and I think I called it Shit Island. I know that's not what it was, but I will insert some pictures from our trip. Through the video and so forth. But it was this huge rock formation out in the middle of the Pacific, and it looked like it had a snow cap on it, and it was not snow cap, folks. It was bird shit. And let me tell you though, the sea life that was around that formation, between all the white tips, the mantas, dolphins, I believe hammerheads kind of showed a little bit when we were there up top, which is my favorite, and that was on my list of things to see.
Hammerheads
were incredible. Man, they were huge. Yeah. The Galapagos shark. That was huge.
Yeah, that was incredible.
I was like, oh my God, am I seeing my first great white? And our guide is sitting there going,
he's like, no, that's not it.
And then another dive friend of ours, and her name's Connie, and I remember her filming me because I think you sat out that dive.
Maybe.
And I think it was the same one that was circling, because it was that path. It was like the day I was sick that day. Remember, I wasn't feeling good, and I only did one dive, and thank God I got my butt up to go down there. I sat there, folks, and I had never seen a shark that big in nature. Yeah. My eyes filled my mask, and I'm like, that's a big shark.
Yeah.
Like, holy.
Absolutely. There was a huge shark, and especially since the water was kind of murky. Like, you don't always know what you're seeing until it's
right on you,
close to it, and that by itself was a little unnerving.
It was, because we did that dive site I think a couple of times, because I remember going down with you and it was pitch black. And I'm like, where is she? I'm grabbing her. Yeah. I don't like night diving. I don't like if I can't see sunlight. Sure. That's my comfort level. Sure. Speaking of comfort level, we were talking about equipment. I mean, I'm very, very thankful you are my dive partner. Very thankful. Plus all the other people that we dive with. You know, they very experienced divers, our group in general.
Yeah, we got a group.
Yeah. My tank wasn't completely turned on, and, thank God the skill sets are embedded in your brain. The more you dive, you always go through with doing a dive plan, blah, blah, blah. But I had to share air that day. So I made it. It was a little nerve-wracking.
A quick sidebar on this, though, because it was just it was so Claudine, for those of you who know Claudine. So I turn around, and she is clearly distressed. And I'm like, hey, buddy, would you like some of my air?
I'm taking a drink.
And in true Claudine form, her eyes are as big as saucers, and she gives me the, like, I'm trying to figure this out. And I'm like, either you're out of air or you're not, darling.
Yeah, I know.
What are we doing here? But she was like, no, I'm not going to panic. I'm like, it's fine if you're not panicking, but also, would you like some air? And then our dive guide came over and he kind of like took control of the situation.
Yep.
So we all kind of went up together, but it was funny. Like, even as I'm like, okay, we're fine. Like, she's, you know, she's a little rattled, but she's going to be fine. And I'm fine. And I low-key was chuckling on the way.
I know.
Like, did that girl just give me her finger? Like, hang on a second.
I'm like, you know, because I was thinking, I'm like, okay, don't panic.
Yeah.
Go through your steps.
Yeah.
I'm going through the steps in my head. Okay,
Yeah.
well, maybe it's just a little, like, and then
also,
I'm like, no, I'm out.
And also, when you're having a moment, like, I'm sure a lot of people can identify with this, like, when you're having a moment where you're, like, on the cusp of possibly panicking, whatever, you don't want to be touched. And so I thought about that later, that, you know, sometimes as an instructor, when you're with a new student, sometimes just reaching out and, like, touching them in the friend zone. The friend zone is the shoulder to the elbow. Let's not be touching people other places, okay?
Don't be a Denver.
Yeah. Don't be one of those weird instructors that people tell tales about later. Just saying.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes if you reach out and touch somebody in the friend zone, to be like, hey, pal, you all right? Sometimes that settles people, but I have also seen it where, you know, if people are a little amped up and they need a minute, I need a minute.
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize.
I so remember that day like it was yesterday. I remember every bit of it. I do.
But if I had like held on to you and yanked your rag out of your mouth and tried to put mine in there, I think 100% you would have bolted to the surface because you were like on the edge of like, I'm trying to work through my steps mentally, which is what we're trained to do in diving. So you did everything correctly. You let me know that there was an issue. You were trying to keep yourself calm and work through your steps. So you did all the right things.
We were at 90 feet, folks, so I was a little nervous. I'm not going to lie.
So the idea of having Claudine be like, nope, I'm out of here, was not good. So like in that particular moment, being able to say like, I'm teetering, I need a moment, was really important.
But
so we were fine.
This is why I always like having you as a dive partner because you do keep me calm. You are, because you are a very, very calm person, and that's probably why you're the instructor and I'm not. So, but we all have our gifts and talents and strengths and weaknesses in any extracurricular activity that we do, right?
Yeah.
And when I'm not doing real estate, it's scuba diving. I love to scuba dive.
Absolutely.
But it's we did check our equipment that morning. I want to preface this. That I checked yours, you checked mine. I showed you what air I had on my computer.
Yep.
So how my tank was turned, it could have been turned, you know, by putting it in the boat. We don't know, but it can happen.
In hindsight, thinking about it, yes, you always do your check, buddy check. You are never so big show that you don't have to check your air.
Absolutely.
So I think people, the more experience they get, they're like, oh no, I have my process and I do it. You're never such a big show that you can get away with not checking your air. I would add to that it is common practice with boat operators, dive operators. They have liability insurance that they have to keep up, so they have their own procedures. But as there are all humans involved and humans are flawed, it is entirely possible that the person who is touching your tank to make sure that your air is on, what if they have an off day and they turn your air off by accident?
And that could have very well happened.
Check it again before you get in. If your tank gets touched on the way, because it's not uncommon to be on that back deck right before you jump in, and you can feel somebody touch the handle of your tank. So once you get in the water, take a couple of deep breaths and look at your computer and see if the air pressure goes down, because if it did, somebody accidentally turned your tank off.
Yes.
So just another reason to
absolutely
quadruple check.
It
was a good reminder.
Very good reminder. My computer went a little nuts, and now I've got a new computer that I need to try out. So we need to plan a trip, I think.
Let's do it.
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah.
Speaking of trips, you're going to Taiwan in a few years. I don't know if I'm going to do
27.
it. I don't know.
I'm excited. I do not speak the language, and having somebody else plan a trip for a place in which I do not speak the language.
Right.
I'm kind of okay with that. So I'm not looking forward to the flight time.
Me either.
That looks gross.
Yeah. I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah.
I haven't decided totally.
Yeah, that's okay. It's all right. I'm sure people will probably sign up and
I
kind
know,
of fall
but
off
I
in
don't.
the
I don't.
timeframe
I
there.
don't. I want to make sure that I'm your roommate if I go.
Oh,
I don't know. You and Janet. Sorry, Janet. I didn't mean to call you out here, but I don't
Yeah.
know if you and Janet planned on it because I know that some other friends, they're both going this time.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think for right now, like Janet and I are signed in as roomies.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
Um,
Damn.
I think the trip booked up pretty quickly, but I mean, 27, you could.
A lot could happen in a
Yeah.
couple of years. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if is it totally full now?
I think there were 2 spots left open.
Oh.
There's a certain gentleman that you like to go diving with. You should go. Do we want to take him? How do we feel about taking boys on our dive trips?
I don't know. My man would not travel that distance to go diving. He would not do it.
I
He
should
won't do it.
mention that my man is also a diver.
Oh,
And
did you do what?
yes, and having been an Air Force veteran, he's been some places, and he actually didn't get certified until after he was out of the service. But he is an adventurous traveler and an adventurous eater, which I'm excited about.
Wait, back up for a second. Adventurous eater, like
He'll try stuff.
like
He'll try stuff
like crickets and shit, like
he would
stuff like
probably,
that.
yeah, he'd probably eat a grilled scorpion if it was tasty. He'd be like, "Yeah, I'm in. Cool.
No,
Yeah,
hell no. Mm-mm.
yeah." Look, the man eats my cooking. And he's like, "This is delicious."
You are a good cook.
Oh, well, thank you.
You are. If I've been to your well, not your new place for dinner, but
Yeah.
your old place. I've been
Yeah.
several times for your.
Yeah.
So
I like to cook.
I need to meet this guy.
He's great.
I'm happy for you.
His
I'm
first
happy.
dive trip was in the Truck Lagoon, which I should
Oh, wow.
mention. I'm like, oh,
His
okay.
first
so-
dive trip was in.
Yes. Yes.
Dang.
I'm like, how do you even recover from that? Like everything else I would think is downhill.
Well, that's just yeah.
If wreck diving is your thing, Truck Lagoon is like
yeah.
the pinnacle of diving. So that was his actual first legit
Wow.
trip. I was like, well, I've been to Bonaire.
Yeah. But, yeah, well, I mean,
I did the Oriskany.
Skinny. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember doing that too. Well, that
Multiple
was
times.
Ooh, that was a not a good dive for me.
The Oriskany's that's another challenging
Yeah.
dive. It can be a gorgeous dive. It can also be a test of every single skill set that you have as a diver.
Absolutely. Well, and our guide at the time,
Yeah. Regrettable.
he went the wrong way, and so we did not.
Well, that's
oh, it was the second dive. Granted, we didn't get down for very long. Obviously, I did lose my GoPro on my second dive.
Oh, that sucks.
But there was a guy that was practicing with his rebreather,
Uh-huh.
and he offered to go down and get it,
Nice.
and he did.
Yeah.
And it was still recording, and so he went all the way around
Oh my
the ship and
gosh, that's
recorded it
awesome.
for me. It was so cool. I'm still
That's
friends with
cool.
him on Facebook.
That is really cool.
It was really cool. It
Yeah.
was.
There's a great dive operator. I think they still operate there in Pensacola, called H2O Below. Captain Doug. I have to give him a shout out. The very first time that I dove the Oriskany, there was a big group of people. We had a variety of skill set, and he did such a great job with just giving us a really good briefing. The current was ripping that day. And he did an excellent job, and he was very patient and just outstanding. So if you are
Awesome.
in Pensacola Beach, H2O Below, Captain Dougie Fresh.
Yeah. I'd like to go do that dive again.
Yeah.
I really would.
Yeah.
Or what's the one off in North Carolina or
That's
South
the
Carolina or whatever?
U-boat.
Okay.
The U-boat area. Right?
Yeah.
I've never done that one. I've heard there are lots of, is it lemon sharks or
which
sand
are my
tigers?
favorite. I love
Yeah.
lemon sharks.
Yeah.
They're like the puppies of the ocean.
Really?
Yeah, they're
I don't know
so.
that I've ever been in the water with lemon sharks. I've seen.
In Belize. I have in Belize.
Oh, okay.
Now, granted on where you're at,
Yeah.
they'll come up and kind of nudge you a little bit. They didn't in Belize, but
Yeah.
our instructor,
Yeah.
our guide,
Yeah.
that you're able to rub on them. Like if they're kind of desensitized with humans, which
Yeah.
you don't necessarily want that to happen, but
Yeah.
they're known as the puppies of the ocean.
My God.
That's what he told me. I don't know if that's totally true, but
Did I tell you about the time that I was diving the cocaine plane
Oh, shit.
in the Bahamas on a night dive, and I got headbutted by a jack right in the ribs, like a huge jack whose forehead was about this big. Talk about big foreheads.
Yeah. That's a big one.
Yeah, and I was wearing a white wetsuit. For those of you that dive, that white Scuba Pro wetsuit that makes you look like a stormtrooper doing it. So I was, just kind of going around. And my dive buddy at the time, who we've already mentioned, she is notorious for, even if you're diving with her, she never has a dive buddy, you know what I'm saying? Because she's taken amazing pictures.
She does. She's pretty awesome.
Our job is to follow her, not the other way around.
Correct.
So of all of the times that I've been diving with her, so this happens, I am completely confused because this thing hit me so hard in the ribs that I'm fine. I'm not panicking, but I'm reaching back to like feel that area, thinking like, oh my God, did I just get struck by a shark? Actually, my first thought was we had another diver on that trip who is a little bit careless with his fins and his spatial reckoning, we'll say. So I thought that he had kicked me. So I turn around thinking like, I'm going to punch this guy right in the butt. But he wasn't there. He was not there. And then I was like, oh, all by myself. So I had to turn around, and my gear is not ripped, but I'm feeling back there, and I'm just confused. Like, what is happening? Who's in charge here? And the notorious, photography dive buddy, non-dive buddy is up in my grill, and she is this far from my mask, and she's like, you're okay. I'm like, yeah, girl, I'm fine. And she's like, you're fine.
She saw it.
Yeah, and I think she thought that I was going to freak out, and meanwhile, I'm like, is there a hole in my suit?
Well, I would be like, the first thing is like, is there blood? Like, am I bleeding?
Yeah, I'm like, am I
did I break
shock?
a rib?
Is there a hole in my person? But it turns out she had taken a lot of video. This jack had been following me the entire dive. So I don't know if it was the color of the wetsuit or whatever, but we had beef. Is what happened there.
So did you go find it?
No, I mean, we kept diving, but we were just kind of laughing. Like, after, like, she turned her camera around and was like, this is what happened. And I wish
she showed you.
Yeah, like, she didn't have an actual video of the thing hitting me. That would have been hilarious and so Instagram worthy.
Oh, totally.
But yeah, she had video of this thing like following me. It had been tailing me the whole time. So just saying.
Well, maybe he was hoping that you were gonna, I don't know, give a hand in marriage. I don't know.
Maybe that jack was like, that ass though. I don't know. I don't know.
That's
I remember that wetsuit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I still have it. I used to teach in it because in a chlorinated pool, if you've already got a white wetsuit, that's half the battle.
Right.
Yeah, it's not going to fade.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's going to bleach it out and keep it white.
Yeah, and with students, it makes it very easy for them to find you even in low-vis conditions. So.
That, and it's also, that's why I have orange fins, and I can remember in Mexico, they were always like, are you an instructor? Because in Mexico...
You're easy to find.
Yeah. They told me that you only wear orange fins if you're an instructor.
Oh,
and I'm like, well, I didn't get that memo. We don't do that in the States.
Were you like, no, but I'm a fancy fish, and fancy fish needs to have orange.
I know. I'm a mermaid.
Yeah.
That's what I always tell my granddaughter. I'm a mermaid.
I'm high importance, and that's what's up.
Exactly. What would you say, besides Socorro? Because, I mean, we saw so many amazing things on that trip.
Yeah.
What would probably be your most favorite thing you've seen in nature, in the ocean? Naturally, I should say.
Naturally. I would say I've been through some pretty cool swim throughs. I wanted to be a diver since Jaws 3 came out back in the 80s. That was the one where the great white invaded SeaWorld. Yes. While everyone else would be scared, I'm like, that's awesome.
Which, by the way, Shark Week starts tonight.
Yes. So I thought that was bitchin'. And so that's what I wanted to do. And it was just so awesome to get to do that. So the swim throughs reminded me of parts of that movie. I just thought it was so neat to like see these tiny little things that were their own universe, just like tucked into the little crevices of the coral and the rock formations. And I don't, I mean, for a million different reasons, I could be happy diving in Florida. I could be like, when I dove the Oriskany, I'm like, I can't believe that there were people that were on this boat, and that boat had a checkered history anyway. So the idea that, there were humans on that boat at one time, like other people's grandpas were on that boat doing that. My own grandpa was on that boat at one point.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, his boat, the USS Bennett, and the Oriskany were in the same port. I think it was the Bennett. He was also on the Willard Keith for Korea. I know the
wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, and so it was a New Year's Eve. All the officers had gone inland, but my grandpa and one of his friends had gotten asked to come off of their boat and help do like a guard shift or something on. I don't know the protocol. I'm sure that was not not allowed back in the day, but for whatever reason,
he didn't get caught.
He did at some point step foot on the Oriskany, and that was
cool.
so amazing to see that. So when I was diving, and I was like, other people have been here, like part of someone's story was here, and now I'm swimming through it. And
the history. I'm the same way. I love knowing the facts about, knowing whether it be going to the Biltmore or diving on, wreck dives or whatever, just the history and of that particular, ship. It is pretty cool, and how it's moved during hurricanes and it's on its side, how it sank lower. I mean, for those that, like that kind of stuff, I highly recommend. There's a YouTube video on the Oriskany, and it is really informative. It's pretty cool. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
Well, you know what, Tanya? We've been talking for a while there, Chickie.
We could talk for
Yes, we can. Yeah. I mean, it's we'll do a second scuba podcast for sure. There's so much more that we could talk about. I mean, there's we didn't even touch on the iceberg of all the places that we've been, things that we've seen, just
life changes that we were going through while we were diving.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, a lot has happened in the 13 years that we've known each other.
Yeah. And I think there's something to be said for, your dive buddies. People say all the time, like, oh, that person's my ride or die, that person. When you have dive buddies that you dive with regular, legit, those people will be there to prevent you from dying if at all possible. So, and that's something that translates from the water to dry land as well. That you can send out a text to your dive buddies to be like, I need some help.
Yeah. Totally.
And they're there. And that's, I think, why we've been friends for so long, is when you find your tribe, like those weirdos are part of my tribe.
I got goosebumps.
Yeah. You
I
can
call
send
it
out
my
the
nerdy
APB.
friends. I love my nerdy friends.
Be like, I got to get the nerds together. We're going to eat food. We're going to drink the drinks, and we're going to talk about some stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's cool reminiscing about, when we get together after a trip and then talk about, what we saw, what happened, and hearing funny stories. But the truth, like you said, the truth is, you are trusting that person with your life.
Yes.
With your life in the water.
Yeah.
So you better make damn sure you get along with that person.
Yep.
Now, I'm not going to go there. Never mind. I was going to talk about divorce and stuff, but anyways, might be a different story. Anyways, no, it's you rely upon that person, for one, to know that they have the skill set and that that's still embedded in their brain.
Yes.
2, that they are cautious about their surroundings. And 3, that you're going to be able to share air and help your buddy out when you need it.
Yeah.
I mean, you were literally trusting your life with that person.
Yeah, and that you as a buddy are, able to assess your dive buddy's
behavior
state that day, their emotional state, their whatever, to be like, normally this person can do this, but I'm looking at you. You look like you're struggling today. Let's not do the swim through because it looks like you're uncomfortable.
That, or it's like, you don't do that because that means that you're totally out of air. But
and then if anybody's giving them shit on the dive boat, like as the dive buddy, you're gonna turn around and be like, "Shut up."
Yeah, I mean, I've called dives before where I just did not feel. I didn't feel right.
I've had dives before where like I had a piece of equipment break, like a mast strap, and then I had something else happen, and I was just flustered, and I'm like, you know what?
You're too stressed.
Let's just bang it today.
Totally.
Everything in my little world right now is saying, you know what, we don't need to do this. We can dive another time.
Absolutely.
And then you take a nap and drink some beer and enjoy a day on the boat. That's what you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we did.
We did.
You know, I didn't feel, I mean, sometimes I had FOMO, but majority of the time I was exhausted. It's scuba diving is a lot of work, folks.
Yeah.
It really is. Everybody, oh, you're just floating around. No. You got, you know, your current surges. There's so many factors involved.
Oh, yeah.
And
they can change. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, you can get in, you can be having a very, very chill dive that has no current, no surge. The tide shifts a little bit, and now you have a whole bunch of other conditions that are different than what the dive started out for. So
absolutely.
You know, physical fitness is part of it, but definitely your mental capacity that day.
Absolutely.
Super important.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, not to get all serious and so forth, but you know what, Scuba Tanya, I have greatly appreciated you coming, giving up your Sunday morning.
Absolutely.
Granted, I did provide mimosas, and I feel like I'm hunching down. I'm gonna figure out. I'm gonna figure out something. I'd like to get like some stands. I know these don't go up that high, and then I'd like to get some stands so we don't have to sit here. Yeah. We could sit on the couch or something, but it's coming.
It's a work in progress.
Absolutely. But hey, here's to us.
Here's to us.
Here's to diving.
Many more dives.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.